Hello everyone, welcome to another North and South, It's a North and South line battle actually, I know, what can I say? And this time, it's the Dixieland army. And they're here somewhere. Ah, here they are. Over by the Intrepid. Oh, correction, quick reset. So here we are by the spawn. And you can see the guys moving out. Yeah, the 19th Indiana. Look at that. First CA, there's Lanny Burrito. Well, they look lovely. Colonel Martin. There's Colonel Lansky from the 19th Indiana. So, let's see if we can find out what these boys are up to over here. Captain Freedom of Virginia. And here, from the 1st Battalion, probably the wrong name. Oh, no, 1st Battalion. Joker's in there, and Heracles. And Yurek as well, look at that. Now, let's have a look and find out what these guys are up to. Quite spread out as they make their way over. It is the 61st Virginia Lieutenant Colonel Flying Pad. Now, who's leading the line? It is Samuel Wilson, leader and Colonel. So, there's somebody in a balloon. The famous Intrepid. Correction, there's nobody in the balloon. This balloon is currently not being driven by anyone. Disappointing balloon. Disappointing balloon. Never mind. Let's find out. As the 1st Battalion make their way out. And we go across the fields. And see if we can find out what the rest of the guys are up to. So you can see here, plenty of numbers on both sides for this evening's line battle. And here, the 63rd Virginia. There's Robert Lee. And up the front, Colonel Farts of the 63rd Virginia. What a name. And here they are making their way across the Stony Bridge. The famed North and South Stony Bridge. Over to the field. And over here, the 1st California, we'll call them, what the hell. There's Lanny Burrito, and they're being set upon by Michigan Cavalry. This is nasty. Slicing and dicing the members of the 1st CA down. Lanny Burrito defending himself from the attacks until he causes a horse crash and gets murdered horribly. But some members of the 1st CA remain in the rocks where it's difficult for the soldiers to get them, but Trooper Arslan is in there with the sword and he's coming in to finish the job. As there's bleeding occurring, he's got to watch out behind him as he's going for the medic. That's exactly what he does. The medic is down from the Californian regiment, and who's this fine fellow? The Michigan Volunteers. And they look wonderful. And look at that. Quartermaster Sergeant Irish. And Recruit Ymer. And Private Loomy, of course. Oh, and a little bit of discipline going on. As Captain Subhuman is dealing with a few problems in the ranks. So let's see what's going on over here. Here is the 61st Virginia making a charge across the fields. Felix Smith, veteran private, and leading the way bravely is Colonel Samuel Wilson as cannonballs rattle past. And look at that, a nice kill into the 2nd United States sharpshooters. They've been taken down, but pinned down by quite a few people. And Chinchilla keeping his reputation of snuffing it very quickly. Poor Chin. At least he's consistent, as we were discussing earlier. So, down here, it's the North Carolinas, and there's a name. Froggy DA. There's a name that's been part of the Dixieland army for a long time. There's Voltag, and there's Yampa, and there's a corpse right next to him, complete with a pistol. So, these look to be trying to sort of defend themselves from the attacks as best they can. Little Stony Bridge does have some defenders. See if we can find out. As Colonel Wellesley from the 150th Pennsylvania gets taken down, and we're looking at the Alabamans from the 15th. And it looks like they've finished off most of the people. There's the medic going in from Corporal Valorius, as one of his teammates, Benny Boy, gets shot down by the members of the 9th Indiana. Could this be the 9th Indiana over here taking cover? It's the 16th Tennessee, Cloud Runner and friends. As these guys, Staff Colonel William from the 16th Tennessee, making use of the space and the defensive position. And now you can see additional forces moving away. As Farfagher dies, Julian Arto, Brigadier General of the 15th Alabama, he's taking cover. And it looks like there's a little bit of team killing going on right now. Well, precisely. And here is the 5th Georgia. Lieutenant Cullen, saber out, and you can see Sam Pham fitting the bayonet. Look at my dab. Oh dear. And Lance Corporal Zimpux.
Get those grey coat scum.
And now Cullen leads the boys across the field even. Now this is going to be a nasty situation for them. They could leave themselves open, but fortunately their left flank is covered by the fine sight of the Michigan Volunteers. Look at this. Fine shooting going in there from Yamur and Dry Corporal. Fantastic stuff. So, these guys are trying to keep these guys across the big Stony Bridge pinned down. You can see a few casualties of the Stony Bridge. And these fellows over here, Mascio from the 61st Virginia and Flying Pad and friends. So you can see here, they've now been forced to back off behind the cover that the fences around the cornfield provide. And so that will give them a little bit more cover. But it looks to be a little bit of a standoff across the big Stony Bridge. So, let's find out what's going on over here. The Michigan Volunteers continue their fire. And you've also got support from another line, Major Raz and First Lieutenant Wisber, defending that left side. As it looks like the North Carolinas have just lost their brigadier. Let's have a look around. Oh, here, Captain Stalin, keeping his head down. Corporal Wookie, not keeping his head down. And they are defending Little Stony Bridge. This bridge over the creek. So, and here come the 63rd Virginia. Fine fellows making their way past. Now, it looks like they haven't actually left the spawn, so this might be the reinforcements. Look at this. Colonel Farts. And over here, the artillery section of the 11th Texan Rangers. Well, they could be Texan Regiment. I'd say Texas Rangers. Much better name. Oh my goodness! Volunteer Medias. A half-naked, legless female. So, the rebel yell you can hear in the background. As over here come the 16th Tennessee, trying to get back to the defensive position of their artillery. Now, let's see if we can find out what is going on. As difficult to judge. I mean, obviously that's the position where the artillery is, so these guys starting to sort of bunch together a little bit. Sorry, no, there's the artillery. Duh. Starting to bunch together a little bit, but you can see that now members of the 95th New York, Private Minty in there, and Tail End Charlie is Sergeant Major Lone Yeager. And there's Jeff King from the Michigan Volunteers. So, look at this. We have had hits on the Little Stony Bridge. We've lost the drummer. And look at that. Whisper going in with the sabre. Taking down 2 members of the 61st. And you can see the craters and smoking paraphernalia that is mortar landing. Or howitzers, I should say. So, Colonel Ian from the 16th Louisiana taken down. Here's Rockman 22 from the 2nd USSS. And now you can see multiple members of the Texan Rangers being taken down. The Black Horse. The BHBs, we'll call it, yeah, I think it's Black Horse Brigade, I can never remember off the top of my head. My apologies to the members of the BHB as Colonel Sawyer gets shot to pieces. And now you can see the other members of the 63rd Virginia and California are still in here. The Intrepid remains high in the air. And you can see Sergeant Major Cantblock from the 63rd holding that left side if he can. But opposing them is the 5th Georgian. You can see they've lost a few people. John Reed over the top of the fence, leading the charge forward as, oh my goodness, the Michigan Cavalry. The Michigan Cavalry, where are they? They are claiming so many victims, and this was where it was. This is where the massacre occurred, around the artillery section. You can see these guys. Silverleaf going up against an enemy. There's Brigadier General Madness from the early brigade. Fine slice and tree avoidance, we heartily approve. But he's trying to defend against this attack from the Michigan Cavalry as best he can. Picks up the flag and his horse takes a bullet. And he's got Silverleaf after him. Going in for a bit of stabby goodness. Will he make it in time? He's taking the flag and there's the attack. He's dodged it. And he's dodged it again. It's a horse crash. Until finally sliced across the bottom by Major Morris from Michigan. So, 12 versus 36. I think it's fair to say the Confederacy is somewhat screwed right now. So a bit of medicing done there. And let's see if we can find out where the rest of the battle is occurring. Aha! The clash of steel. And here's Sergeant Behrman with other members of the 2nd USSS. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. There's Musil, 4th Michigan, the Major General himself. Working together with Colonel Vegetarian from the 1st Massachusetts. And there's the all-charge command. And he puts a beacon on himself so they can see where he is. Correction, they put it on Killy. And look at that from the 5th GA. I have a copycat in there, a doppelganger. Chadtopia's in there. What can you say? And here is Major Morris. And also Colonel Custer from the 6th Michigan, and there. The last of the enemy is finished off. And we move on to the next round. And we return on the next round. Oh dear. Major Max Norton just shot himself in the head. Whoops, Colonel Martin has just been shot. Whoops-a-daisy. That's not a good sign. And here, you can see here, got these fine fellows from BHB getting lined up. So, there's Adjutant Flashhard from Early's Brigade. And there probably will be a reset because one of the colonels got killed. And there is the bassist and other members of the Confederate Army. Oh my goodness. There she is. Volunteer medias. So, here, in the middle of a horse crash, is the artillery section. Howitzer and cannon. Don't they look lovely and brassy? If a little bit laggy. So, let's see as the guys make their way out. A few casualties already in this particular battle, as is the norm. As we move over, Corporal Josie Wales from the 61st Virginia. And they're making their way out. You can see these guys making their way over to the cornfield, where they know they will be meeting the enemy across from the Big Stony Bridge. So, let's see if we can find out who is over by the wall. There's Adjutant Flashheart, and here are the members of the 16th Tennessee offering fire down this fine wall. You can see making pot shots at the enemy, who you'll see hiding in trees. And an advanced scout, Trooper Arslan from the Michigan Cavalry, sniffing around and looking for the enemy. They've lost Froggy DA already. Oh no. And here is Major General Musil. Oh, look at that. Giles Summerladness just taking a shot to the back. That could be a problem for him. And it looks like the United States sharpshooters are getting involved with a nice stand-up fight with the enemy, and drumming is occurring. Private Fish Fingers. Fine fish fingery goodness there. So, you can see over the brow of the hill, cavalry milling around, circling and waiting for the inevitable pounce. There's there Staff First Lieutenant Nutmeg. Doesn't she look lovely today? And over here is Major General Hawk from the 16th Tennessee. So, let's see. Who's hiding in here, we wonder? Rocks. That's what's hiding in there. Okay, we'll move on. Let's go hunting around for people. It's Swaggles. You can see here on the cannons. Look at that fine, smooth cannon there. What's going on over here? I'm hearing engineering. I am. Spade Prometheus. That's when you call a spade a spade. When it's in the hands of Prometheus. Look at this engineering skill here being displayed. As you can see, Farfigha then taken down from Alabama. And the Michigan Cavalry, as we suspected, continuing to circle, looking for an opportunity to strike. As they've just lost Flashheart. Gunned down by the Georgian. Oh, there's my namesake. Lance Corporal Chadtopia from the 5th Georgian. Holding the flag as well. Good stuff. So, Sam Pham from the 5th Georgian. What's going on here, I wonder? Lieutenant Cullen. And, hello, Random Horse. Now, that's something that they tend to crack down on, is people not getting into the balloon. So.
Firing by volley, ready.
Yahoo indeed. As these guys making their way through, the 3rd Virginia making their way through the woods. Supported at the rear by the members of the 1st Battalion. Look at these guys, don't they look fantastic? And there we go, the 1st North Carolina as well. Good stuff. There's Ronnie Conn at the end. A few of these guys taking bullets. And now you can see Tigray, or Tigera, however you want to pronounce it, from the 1st Battalion making his way out. Looking to support the likes of Cos Grizzly and other members of the 19th Indiana and the 15th Alabama. Oh, can't block. Just bled horribly to death while running and following his teammates. Sad to say. Private Urban from the 61st or 63rd Virginian. They're making their way out either to one side here or possibly maybe to the barn. These things do offer reasonable amounts of cover. Plus, nice place to hide, but this particular barn is locked up tight. There will be... Why is it whenever I come on to do it, a cast, he dies first? Yes, very sad, isn't it? Well, never mind. There's Brigadier General Madness, sporting fine moustache. He's going in for a little bit of slice. And there's a horse crash in the middle of the cornfield. As you can see, these guys trying to do their best, trying to go in for a little bit of bayonet-y goodness. As Major General Hawk is taken down. And Lone Jaeger with a fine kill. As, oh dear, look at that. PFC Lee has just been taken down by Corporal Waffles. As these guys dodging around. Because they're going up against the likes of the 19th Indiana. Look at them trying to avoid the nasty stabbings. Look at that. Oh, he's bleeding badly. It's going to be bleeding a lot worse soon. There you have it. With Private Bastic as the bleed kill. So now you can see the 1st Battalion and the members getting themselves sorted and regrouping. 19th Indiana also looking to support their teammates as the 2nd United States Sharpshooters make their way through.
You're pathetic.
Well, thank you. There is Chinkiller. Yes, the man himself. Who basically we have been going for nearly 9 minutes and he's not dead. So this is almost unheard of with Chinkiller. So it's wonderful to see. I'm waiting for him to be intercepted by a cannonball at any moment. But never mind. Now, on his right side, Private Hybrid.
I'll rip you apart.
Thank you.
Come on, you bastards!
And other members. Private Dukin. So, are they making their way up to this barn? I'm guessing they will be. But the question remains whether the barn has any cover. I mean, it has some nice craters, but that's about it. Now, it looks like they're forcing the enemy to flee. That's exactly what's going on with the 1st Battalion. They've decided to hold up in this defensive position. As there's Toby wanting to get some healing. Get some bandaging. There we go. Some fine bandaging on Toby. He has now stopped bleeding. As Waffles gets sliced. Poor Waffles.
You want to fight? Try me.
Oh dear. Down goes Private Tommy, shot at long distance by the 1st Battalion Gem Joker. So Fish Fingers staying on the bank side, hoping not to get sliced or at least slightly breaded. But these guys using the hill there to disguise their movement. And as you can see, they're not being very ninja-like.
Try to leave the pretty ones alive.
And now they pounce with their target being that of the 15th Alabama. And I don't think they were particularly ninja-like with the music leading the boys. But, you know, these are details we'll gloss over. Let's hope it doesn't lead to the demise of Fish Fingers and friends. As the Colonel Ian of the 6th Alabama, or 6th Louisiana, sorry, gets killed. And we're seeing more members of the Indiana, and I think that was the General Gem Maximus there from the 1st Battalion taken down. Let's have a look at our numbers. 28 versus 21, so it's still all to play for. And you can see the flag waving, dropped by one of the guys. And look at that blood-spattered tunic. Just brutal. As here are the Michigan Volunteers. Continuing. Look at those bullets hitting around the wooden barriers. Providing them with that little bit of cover. You can see they've taken them down on this side here. So they can shoot without any kind of interruption into the main field. But getting a target's going to be hard. There's Freestyler VI there. Or Freestyler the 6th. From the 15th Alabama. Oh, make their way over to this other fence location. Enabling them to open up on their opponents. As the Michigan Volunteers continue to push towards this house. And maybe start pushing back against the defenders of the 1st California located in this position. So, let's see. Find out what they're planning. Oh, they're up to something, you just know it. Let's sneak around the corner. And there's the kill onto Paulus from Cutchin. Fine shot from Cutchin. That's normally the reaction I get when people watch my videos. Never mind.
Send them Yankees back to hell.
Well, quite. What's going on over here? The Michigan Volunteers are trying to get those important kills. They've got to try and get in there. As down goes Irish. Killed by a sneaky shot from Cordelia. And you can see still remaining there. Making use of their friend's body to cover them. Looking for that all-important target. And now starting to move forward. And he misses. Out comes the tomahawk of Thomas Morrow. Look at that. That war cry is just fantastic. And here we go. In goes the tomahawk for the swing. Oh, then gets stabbed by the bayonet. It's fighting forward. Look at that. Great moment by Marrow. Gonna look to go in and get the final kill with that brutal tomahawk. And gets the kill. But is now bleeding badly. Thomas will need to get a bandage upon. And has been scalped. You can see the enemy's been scalped. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Love those yells. And look. More stabby goodness. It's Chinchilla. He's nearly survived a whole round. Can he make it? As he's up against the entire Confederate army. Can he force the odd team kill? He has no bayonet. He's going to butt them to death with the rifle butt. No, Chinchilla is down. Oh, we thought that was going to be a red letter day for Chinchilla, where he survived an entire round. But sadly, no. He was finished off at the last moment. Sadly, he's all foreplay and no orgasm. Never mind. So, here is Recruit Nikolai. And now they're making their way into the cornfields. As they're going after one of the few remaining survivors. It's Private Hybrid. It was Private Hybrid. Not a hybrid anymore. And now we see more members of the Union Army come charging in. Sergeant Swagles. And also Colonel Wex, who is retired. Turns and gets murdered. And Sergeant Major Yamper of the North Carolinians. Look at this fine work being done. Stabby goodness is occurring everywhere. Down goes Jem Ben. Look at my dab from the 5th GA. And he's going in for a quick stab and a grab. got his back against the wall, and it turned out to be a bad moment for Grizzly. And it's going to be a bad moment soon for Look at My Dab. But fortunately, the round comes to an end with the odd team kills. And we move to the next round. And so, after a map change, we return. Well, precisely. So, let's find out what's going on, and let's have a look at this new map. So, for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'm thinking there's a train line right through the middle. There it is. The Steel Beastie, which, as you can see, has been stopped by a crashed wagon. So, barricaded in. The carriage, which I have to say, I don't think much of the accommodation doesn't look very comfortable. Looks very wooden in its seating, but I suppose this is the era. As there's Staff First Lieutenant Nutmeg of the old brigade. So, she is sniffing around, looking for the enemy. Will she find them? Now, what's this over here? Very strange rock formation, as you can see. Very odd. But it could be a cave system where the army stores their supplies. Look at this. Oh yes, look at this. Potential cave action. Oh goodness. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? And these are little things that you don't get to see as part of the normal battle. Nobody gets to fall in through there into the water. And this looks like a cave too small. Oh, I don't know, actually. It would be interesting to see that. Trying to do a cave fight. Anyway, I digress. So, as here is Lakesh of the 6th Michigan, the fine members. Oh dear, Donald Trump's fallen already. Got a large ball in the face. Not before time. So, we go looking. There's a little bit of medicine occurring here with the members of the 1st Battalion. As here is Heracles. And here the 63rd Virginia. You can see them getting set up. Out come the pistols, and in come the 1st Massachusetts. Along with Nutmeg attacking on the horse. And the dodging left and right by Colonel Farts. And a nice team kill by Colonel Allansey. So Colonel Farts taking cover. Waiting for the moment to attack. When he pounces and brings his regiment with him. And he's decided to go around the back of the building. So we follow Farts. Silent but deadly as always. And there also is Nutmeg requesting some healing. Nutmeg in need. Nutmeg looking for the bandage. Come on. The bandage. There we go. Nutmeg is bandaged. We nearly lost the Nutmeg. The Nutmeg nearly died. And so, let's see. Colonel Allansky, supported by Recruit Swag. And Froggy DA has murdered somebody out there in the field. Cow Punch, invitational to the 95th New York. And it kind of amazes me, really, when you think about it, after all this time. You see people watch the videos and they think, is that there is literally a person at the end of their internet connection on their computer for every single one of the people that you see here. And you sometimes forget about how awesome that is. When people get caught up in the politics and the unpleasantness that normally comes with a large community of gamers. Because that will always be the case. There will always be those who feel they are hard done by, who do not get the recognition or the accolades that they feel they deserve. There'll be those people out there who just want to ruin it for others because they can. And there will be those who work hard to provide plenty of entertainment and fun for the community members. And I've seen it before. I've seen it many times. I even ran a community that had over 1,200 people in it. And that was hard work. So, Corporal Simpson. Hello. Random horse. Ah, Cowpunch. Cowpunch gets the bandage of life. And now moves out with the other members. There's Benny Boy of the Michigan Volunteers. Captain Maximus of the 105th Pennsylvania. And they look fantastic. There's Drunk Slav. What a name. And up ahead, there is the Major, Thomas Morrow. Bringing his boys across the train tracks. You can see the buildings being defended over here on the left. These guys taking shots at the enemy as they risk their life to cross the railroad. As other members of the United States Sharpshooters, along with Rockman 22 here, can see them trying to push back. The only drawback that sometimes tends to happen with this particular map is it can become a bit of a standoff. And the members of the 19th... Hang on a second. The members of the 9th Indiana. So, yeah, good job there. Good job on the naming, but never mind. Details we'll gloss over as Shemin makes his way in to try and get under some cover. And Quartermaster Sergeant Irish continues to work with the other band of native Indians to try and push back the enemy. So, 31 versus 56. Heavens above, it's Nutmeg. Fine parking by Nutmeg, look at this. Nutmeg needs a heal, Nutmeg needs the bandage. And Nutmeg is bandaged. Welcome to the Nutmeg cam. The bandaging cam. It is Nutmeg. Down goes Coupette. Whoa, quite literally down goes Coupette. As he tries to fight for his life. And sadly fails. Shot down by Nutmeg. Until Nutmeg then gets killed by Stalin. Not the first of many, I can say. So, we're watching these guys, as you can see, Arslan and Private Tommy with that pistol. Looking for the pistol shots. Gotta be careful, gotta watch those windows. It's gonna be dangerous. Oh, fine shot going in. And fine shot coming out. Oh dear me. So we look around the buildings. As we can see here. Here's Lakesh, Trooper of Michigan. With Old Glory. Colonel Custer fighting for his life. Look at this. Caster with a kill onto Brony, the mercenary. And Subhuman also going in there with a kill onto Colonel Martin. These guys, they're hemmed in. It's a desperate situation for them. They need to do something about it. And what they're going to do about it is get some music going. And of course a bayonet for Colonel Custer. Oh dear, Subhuman murdered very quickly. Wow. The sounds of the dying echo through these buildings and train tracks. But here's Stalin of the 2nd USSS charging forward, and they're going in for a kill, getting the boys together. And there's the all charge. Look at these boys. Don't they look fantastic? And there's 3 Confederacy. Oh yeah, they're pretty screwed. Dodging left and right and You can see mercenary Killy. Remember the Alamo as he then gets shot in the bottom. As I get team killed by a cannonball. How apt.
What a piece of rubbish.
Thank you.
Bastards!
Irish Babe. Medic. And also
Forever!
Bearman. No bayonet fixed. He's going to butt him to death. So we find the remaining member of the Confederate Army, and he's been diddled. He's been diddled with a bayonet and then get team killed by Auntie. What an ending. And we'll move on to the next round, boys and girls. We'll be right back. And we return by the flowing grass and the creaking trees to the next round. And there's some horse assassination occurring. There's Josie Wales doing something with a horse's ass. Flying Pad is not happy. He's lost his horse. But now you can see the members of the Black Horse Brigade making their way out. There's fine cavalry. And we're moving up to the leader. Throwing up dust with the hooves, it's Colonel Sawyer. So, you can see them pausing and waiting. So he goes in with his binocs over the top and round the village areas, looking to see where the direction of the enemy is coming from. And the firing starting over there on the right hand side. Sorry, by the left hand side I should say, of the Confederate Army. It is the Michigan Volunteers pushing pretty heavily. And of course the 1st Massachusetts supporting. These brave fellows, look at them, don't they look fantastic. As Gosh Mate from the Michigan Volunteers get taken down. Down also goes Noob Cake. Killed by Custer. Oh, the irony. As now you can see these fellows of the Black Horse Brigade taking cover. Or some of them are.
Yeehaw!
And you can see now who's this is bleeding badly. Captain Freedom was bleeding pretty bad. Now has been healed. The bleeding has been prevented. And we can see Red Panda being killed. And down goes Major General Musil. Killed by Major Perseus from the 1st California. Berserker Cats. What a fine name, sir. And the other members, Private Drunken Slav. Recruit Ymir. Recruit Polis. And it's great to see, even though this game has been out for such a long time, well, I'm talking about Mountain Blade and Napoleonic Wars and this mod, that there are still new recruits into the game. And I think it's fantastic. And obviously, with the release of War of Rights and everything else, with the Mountain Blade 2, I look forward to the games that will come. And hopefully I'll get to commentate on some of them, which would be rather nice. So, let's see. What is going on here as Brigadier General Reed is making his way out. And now it looks like they'd be going for a little bit of an ambush. But here, the North Carolinians, Brigadier General Voltag, Smitty, and Sergeant Will are defending themselves. And in charging goes... Who's this man? It's Corporal Ian. We are following Corporal Ian as he makes his way in. Let's see. Okay. Yep, he's definitely there. He's definitely doing things, and he's now met up with the likes of Corporal Smitty. So. Rebellious Blade and friends. You can see them continuing to try and push this point. Defended by the 1st Battalion. With fine haulage by Ian from Louisiana. Let's find out what other haulage he has planned. His fine trumpet gleaming in the sun. He swapped his trumpet for a rifle. And he swapped his life for a bullet. Never mind. The commentator's spectator curse strikes again. Never mind, these things happen. Oh my goodness, we just lost Will. And Smitty. Hello. Thank you. Look at this, one of the red-legged devils. Outside, hybrid. Goes in, misses, gets dodged, and he's got to go in for a bit of bayonet-y fun. It's a bit of barrel love. Going in for the barrel attack. Oh, fine barrel work from hybrid. Doesn't have a bayonet, it's going to be nasty for hybrid. Is now bleeding. Yeah, she's pissed. Hybrid's going to be looking for some healing. Maybe took a little bit of a bayonet hit. And there's Pimpus or Zimpux. Now, who's this? United States sharpshooters. Continuing to push their advantage. Defending the position. It's flying pad of the 1st Virginia. And you can see they're losing people all around them. Very nasty indeed. Look at this guy's been shot down in the windows. Casualties being caused everywhere. Just brutal. Captain Sky is murdered. So, what's going on over here? It's PFC Rufty of the 95th New York, defending himself with fine melee skills. And we're on the last round at the moment, as you can see from the purple chat. Recruit Nikolai is in there, and medicing work. Sergeant Major Perseus. Medics just don't get enough love in any game. I used to absolutely love playing a medic, or I should say a cleric in EverQuest. So much fun. So, and that character still exists, by the way, on the EverQuest server. Tunair, I believe it was. Which I believe was an American server. Anyway. Randoms aside, Colonel Martin, the fine coverage over his shoulders, picks up the flag and moves out with Brigadier General Maverick and Joseph Pierce from the 9th Michigan and the 71st New York. Well, precisely. Now, it looks like there may be an attack on the cannon position, based by the fact that somebody just lost their face to grape shot. Difficult to track them down. Here comes Subhuman. And down goes Waffles. Sliced by his teammate. Poor Waffle. Didn't deserve it. For those of you who haven't ever seen it, you should check out YouTube for a video that has, I believe, over 4 million views on it. And it is simply called Waffle Falling Over. And here is Brigadier General Madness. Currently cheesing it. And getting stabbed horribly by Zimpux. So there we go. Brigadier General Madness. I should say the late Brigadier General Madness. Currently in a rather compromising position. And Corporal Simpson from the Black Horse Brigade taken down very quickly. Private Hybrid with a nice kill as well. And let's have a look. 8 Confederacy versus 24 Union. And this appears to be most of where they're holding up. We've got the lights of Private Blee around the corner. Colonel Henry Knight of the 71st. Joseph Pierce. Major General Oliver. And of course the fine Private Blee. A fine name. Blee. Down goes Joseph Pierce, and that's a nice kill. Irish with a double kill there, I think that was. Nice stuff indeed. As now you can see the melee going in, and the final member of the Confederate Army is finished off. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been it for this evening for the Dixieland Army North and South Line battle. I hope you've all enjoyed. My thanks to the admins and also to every single player who's attended. You guys make these events what they are. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon for more. Take care, everyone. Cheers. Bye.